Hello, Internet. Know yourself and know the world, or be forever frustrated. Oh, and by the way, welcome to the Empirical Sword. I'm Lore Master DLC79, and I happen to believe that school doesn't teach, at least not the way it's supposed to. And we have to take our education into our own hands until such a time that we can reform the school system so that it prepares people for surviving life. Unfortunately, right now, it's letting a lot of people down. People are just outright giving up on education and just living their lives, seeking entertainment. And if you pop over to my channel page, you'll notice that I do a lot of gaming content. This is why. Because I believe the people that I need to reach are more interested in entertainment than in education. So that's what that's all about. So how do you know yourself and know the world? Well, this kind of gets to one of those things that I really think school should teach very early on. We've already gone over the first one, the thing that I think that school should teach first, and that's how you most effectively learn. This one probably ranks as like second, maybe third. It's really hard to rank these chronologically. In my opinion, they should all be taught at the same time, just downloaded into our brains. But we can't do that yet. It will make things so much easier, but we can't. But yeah, I mean, the answer is personality typology, and I know that there are a lot of people out there who one particularly influential person who used to be fairly prominent in the typology communities, who has just been, I just done a 180, and let's not talk about that. But I mean, there are a lot of kind of negative comments-ish brought upon typology, such as Myers-Briggs, Enneagram, and the Hexaco, and others. But here's the thing. You need to know who you are, and although you don't necessarily need a personality test to tell you who you are, I mean, it's not going to be accurate. I mean, especially if you're going for one of these online thingies. But I mean, I've taken the actual legitimate Myers-Briggs test, and some of the questions were a little. It's like there are many ways that this could be interpreted, and how I interpret it determines my answer. And I know that my answer determines, the four-letter code that I get, which determines the amount of the type of information that I get as a result of taking the test. In other words, how you interpret the questions determines how you respond, which determines whether or not you're typed correctly. And I hate using the word correct typing, because I don't want to use this video to focus in too much on Myers-Briggs, but I mean, it is the most famous. But I mean, it's essentially based on 8 cognitive functions, and we have all 8. We just don't use them equally. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all I'm going to say about that, because I don't want to go down that road. I really want to focus on how this helps you know you. And again, you don't need a test to tell you who you are, because I mean, you can figure that out on your own. But a test can speed things up, and in this world, speed is everything. Time is never on your side. You're always losing time. So if a tool can help you save time, use it. And I mean, there is the inaccuracy issue that you maybe typed as this, and maybe not all of the information that goes with that type resonates with you. Well, if the type doesn't describe you, or if part of the type doesn't describe you, just ignore it. You find out what does describe you, pay attention to that, and if it doesn't describe you, just toss it aside, because ultimately, what this will let you do is it's not about you. And I know there are a lot of people out there who say, well, you're taking a test to find your type. Of course, that's about you. No, it isn't. And here's why. Imagine if you were the only thing in the universe. I mean, literally, we have infinite space in all directions, and the only thing in existence is you. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? And actually, let's simplify this. Let's take you out of the picture. Again, an infinitely large universe in all directions. Only one thing exists: a circle. Define the word round. Don't say it's not straight, because in this universe that has only a circle in existence, straight doesn't exist. We don't know what straight is. If you're going to compare round, if you're going to define round by saying it's something that's not straight, straight doesn't exist in this universe, in this hypothetical, abstract, imaginary universe. But in this imaginary universe, there's no such thing as straight. So saying that round isn't straight doesn't make sense, because we haven't defined what straight is, because it doesn't exist. Nothing exists in that universe that can be called straight. See, this is kind of a very abstract, almost cartoonish way of saying that we define ourselves based on what we aren't, or what other people are. We know what introverts look like because we know what extroverts look like. We know what thinkers look like because we know what feelers look like. That sort of thing. You know who you are based on who other people are, and I think that these personality tests are very useful at helping us understand where we stand in relation to everyone else on planet Earth. Because once you get into that, you can start understanding that maybe you don't communicate in a style that other people communicate in. For example, I'm an INTJ, which means I'm an intuitor, and intuitors like to communicate in very abstract ways, and specifically NTs, we like to throw in hedges. Maybe and possibly and likely and probably. You're forever living in the uncertainty, knowing that our perception is ultimately flawed. NTs, and I think particularly the INTJ, I may be a bit biased on that. Again, I may be biased. Again, living in the uncertainty, knowing painfully, excruciatingly well that uncertainty exists because we never perceive anything 100% correctly. Some people miss that. Particularly censors. Censors like to communicate in a very definitive, indicative kind of way that, this is this. And they tend to miss words like may and might and maybe, and interpret things indicatively rather than subjunctively. I should not be throwing around grammar words, because even I think grammar sucks. I know the words and I try to use the grammar right, but it sucks. I mean, who on planet Earth wants to diagram a sentence? When is that useful? Again, that's off point. The point is, we basically define each other, ourselves, in terms of how other people are different. And again, going back to the communication example, if we know that we communicate in style is different from the people around us, we can start to kind of monitor our communication style and adjust it to be more in line with what other people want. Because again, it's not about you. There are like 8 billion people, give or take, on planet Earth. They're not all going to do what you want. It's going to be a lot easier with a lot less frustration if you try to kind of go with the flow and accommodate other people, at least more often than not. I mean, we all have our selfish moments of I've been giving and giving and giving all day. I need someone to do for me. We all have moments like that. And another big criticism brought against pretty much all personality typology things is it teaches people to stereotype. No, it doesn't. We need absolutely no teaching to stereotype. We need to be taught to not stereotype. And you know what? It's not just us. It's not just humans. Fish stereotype. Fish swimming out in the ocean or in the rivers or whatever, they swim along and then, oh, this looks like food. It looks like food. I can eat it. That looks like something that wants to eat me. That's stereotyping. Right there. Fish do it. All animals descended from fish know how to stereotype, at least to distinguish between food things and things that want to eat me things. I got a little distracted on that little tangent, but yeah, it doesn't teach us to stereotype, because that is inherently bred into our neurology of categorizing things. In fact, one could argue that the scientific tendency to categorize everything that we encounter, igneous rock, sedimentary rock, metamorphic rock, categorizing rock, the Eskimos or the Inuit have like 50 different words for the different types of snow. Categorizing snow. And no, I'm not making fun of people. I'm sure it's meaningful to them. It's just somebody actually took the time to come up with different categories of snow. In Hawaii, there are different categories of lava. We categorize everything. We stereotype everything. That's what stereotyping is. We categorize. And yes, I don't think that typology teaches people to stereotype. I think it grew out of the tendency to stereotype, needing to bring order to what appears to be a chaotic mess of people who just want to do things that other people can't understand. And the typology is an attempt to understand why we don't understand what other people want to do. And you know, I think that's the actual power right there. It can bring understanding to all these confusing people who just want to watch Jackass and Michael Bay movies, and they love it, and I don't understand it. But yeah, it's. I mean, it's not going to solve all the frustration problems I mean, just knowing it isn't going to solve all the frustration problems that you have with other people, and particularly types that and you know, that's another thing. It's not always the personality type. Oftentimes it's just the person. They're like very high on the selfish scale, or they have very low altruism, or they may be a borderline psychopath. There are those out there. They are out there. Or maybe they're a narcissist. I mean, I work with at least one person who is almost definitely a narcissist, like at least 85% narcissist. And yes, it is frustrating, and I won't get into that because I don't want to put negativity out on the YouTube. But yeah, just knowing typology isn't going to solve frustration issues, or all frustration issues, but it can actually teach you kind of your weaknesses in social circles. Like an example with me, I'm an INTJ. We don't like small talk. We tend to go around with this death stare, like. I probably just scared people there. We tend to have that, and people think that we're angry, even though we're not. We're just like in very deep thought. And again, there's the abstract thinking kind of thing. And yeah, occasionally we do daydream. We just get off in our heads, and then we kind of lose sight of everything in the world. And people don't understand that. That they tend to think that we're scatterbrained or absent-minded or something. And it's and again, 8 billion people on planet Earth. We can't get all those people to just accommodate us. We have to accommodate them. We kind of have to meet them in the middle rather than demanding that they meet us in the middle, if that makes any sense. But yeah, there will be frustration issues that even implementing this won't get rid of, because, again, some people are just not nice. And I'm not using the word nice in a generic way of like they don't provide superficial compliments. I mean, some people are just, they're, like I said earlier, borderline psychopaths, narcissists, or just plain selfish. There are people like that, and just knowing MBTI or Hexaco or anything like that, that's not going to help alleviate the frustrations there, but it can help you get along with more healthy people. A better way of phrasing this is it can help you avoid a lot of miscommunications. But when some people are just not right in the head, it's not going to help. I mean, it can help you understand where they're coming from a little. This is everybody should learn psychology, really. Not just personality typology, but all of it. Learn to recognize psychopaths and narcissists and other things like that. Not so much that you can help, but so that you can kind of know when to step back and keep your distance, so that you don't get caught in their crazy, for lack of a better word. But yeah, I really think that's the value of personality typology. It can speed up the process of learning who you are and how you relate to the rest of the world, and kind of start helping you to close the gaps between you and other people. I mean, it's not perfect. Don't be expecting perfection. Don't be like reading tons and tons of books trying to become an expert at MBTI or whatever, and then expect to get along with everybody, because that's not going to happen. Again, some people are just messed up in the head. But yeah, it does have a value. It is useful, and it really should be taught in school as early as possible, so that people can start figuring out who they are and where they fit in the world, where their skills lie, how they think, how they perceive the world. I completely forgot to mention that. And that's what MBTI really is. It's how you perceive the world and how you make decisions, how you draw conclusions. And that's all of it right there. Just those things, nothing more. And not everybody will perceive the world or draw conclusions the way you do. And not everybody's going to want to not everybody's going to want to go after a goal the way that you do. And knowing how you're wanting to go this way and they're wanting to go that way can help you either you kind of see where you need to be in order to make things go more smoothly, or whether or not you need to just walk away. Because I mean, if they're wanting to go this way and you want to go this way, and you really, really want to go this way because going this way is kind of against like your moral code or something, just walk away. Unless you actually do want to go that way, or find it convenient to go that way. And this is another video that's dragging on. I'm trying to pack too much information into these, but I do think it's a valuable information. And if you think it's valuable, then why not subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you can be notified whenever I drop a video. And I keep looking over here because that's where my that's where my face is, and I should be looking here instead of there. But yeah, subscribe and bell icon so you can be notified whenever I drop a video like this. And if you know somebody who might benefit from the value of this video, share. Don't be selfish. Don't be one of those selfish people. Help out people that might get something out of this. And I will see you in the next one.